Hi guys, it's Paige from Virginia Health Coaching. I wanted to take a moment today to do a quick how-to video about green smoothies. I am going to show you a super easy, very basic green smoothie recipe. This is kind of a pineapple raspberry thing. It's beautiful and pink and perfect. If you're easing into green smoothies, if you don't have a lot of experience with them, this is a great one to start with. So I am going to show you how I make them at home because I don't measure anything. And I just want to show you how easy it is to kind of guess the measurements as you go and make your own. I will include an approximate recipe with this so that if you're a little nervous about trying it on your own, you have some basic ideas. But feel free to kind of play with the recipe based on what you have around, and then just taste along the way. And if it's not turning out the way you want it, just play with it a little bit more. I have a fancy blender. My BlendTech is one of the super high-powered blenders, but if you don't, you could still do this recipe with no problem. The only thing you need to keep in mind is that if your blender can't handle a lot of frozen fruit at once, you'll want to blend everything else. Basically, you want to do your liquid, any powders, any seeds or nuts, anything soft, your soft fruits, and your spinach, and do all of that first. And so you have a nice kind of green liquid going, and then you'll go ahead and add your frozen fruit. You basically just don't want to shove all of that in there at once. It doesn't blend as well, and you don't want to end up with chunky spinach in your smoothies. So here's kind of what I do when I make smoothies. I pull out all of my ingredients, and today we're going to start with a whole banana. This will probably be enough smoothie to share with somebody or have a giant one for yourself, depending on what you want. So my whole banana goes in first. Then I also have half of an avocado. That'll go in. And then I brought some fresh pineapple. You can use frozen pineapple. I had a bunch of fresh left over. And this is maybe a cup at most of pineapple. Again, the measurements don't really matter. I have red raspberries next. And again, this is probably about a cup. I'm just going to use the rest of this bag that I have. I have flaxseed meal and chia seeds here. I like to add these to my smoothies for a little bit of extra fiber, plus additional omega-3 fatty acids. And I add maybe a tablespoon, maybe less if you're kind of adjusting to them. You don't want to do too much fiber at once. And then finally, I have a bag of spinach, and I'm going to do a big handful of that. And maybe extra. So I have a pretty good blender full of stuff going on here. And then all I'm going to do is add some filtered water. So let's see, this is probably just over, this looks like maybe 2 cups of water. And basically I will determine if it's enough water based on whether or not the blender gets stuck when I try and run it. And I'll add more liquid if I need to. Okay, I just finished blending this up. Again, if you're using a lower powered blender, just be patient with it. Do all of your soft stuff first and then add your icy stuff as you go, your frozen fruit. But this ended up being, it says 28 ounces of smoothie, which is a pretty good amount. So I have my jar. It looks good. And obviously if you want a more appetizing look, you can add more raspberries to make it pinker. But I have my big jar and I have my glass straw, so we'll see. Nope, this is perfect. So if you make one and it turns out a little bit weird, it tastes a little bit off, you might have added too many greens for your first time. So basically just start with a higher fruit level, and then the more you drink smoothies, the more your taste buds will adjust, and you can start adding more greens, more good vegetables, and less fruit, and that'll bring the sugar levels down and also the nutrition up in your smoothies.